Hey Queens, welcome to Captivation Radio, a podcast designed to help women learn to love their bodies, transform their mindset, and attract the life of their dreams. I'm your host, Fallon, the queen of all things captivation. I'm a certified personal trainer and a confidence and mindset coach. I have a passion for helping women go from mediocrity to queen status. Each week, I will discuss how you can use fitness, mindset, and manifestation to overcome feelings of lack, raise your energy, and finally step into your power and claim the life you deserve. Hey Queens, welcome back to this week's episode of Captivation Radio. Today I am going to answer a question I hear all the time. Can limiting beliefs really be overcome? Of course they can. Your mind is magical and can always grow and change. Next question, what are limiting beliefs? So, if you don't know what limiting beliefs are, then I'm just going to give you a quick little rundown. If you've heard my spiel before, it won't take too long. So, all of our beliefs are either limiting or empowering. And limiting beliefs are defined as a state of mind, conviction, or belief that you think to be true that limits you in some way. Whenever you tell yourself, I'm not good at ... or I'm not smart enough, fit enough, pretty enough, etc., this is a limiting belief. And these limiting beliefs are the reason that we don't stand fully in our power. The good thing is you can learn to recognize and overcome them. These limiting beliefs hold us back from so many things, from making more money, success, quality relationships and friendships, from pursuing your true purpose, and from doing things that make you truly happy. And life does not have to be that way. You can learn to spot these limiting beliefs and put an end to them once and for all. Now let's talk about where these beliefs come from. So limiting beliefs are generally caused by past trauma or micro trauma, also known as like small t trauma, if you're familiar with trauma. And as we go through our life, these beliefs are reinforced. Once we believe something, we naturally find evidence to support our beliefs, which then makes these limiting beliefs gain power and reinforce these feelings of sadness, lack, fear, and or inadequacy. These limiting beliefs are often learned and absorbed from those around us as well. As children, the only view of the world that we have is that of our families. If our families have limiting beliefs around subjects such as money, it is natural for us to take these beliefs with us into adulthood. As adults, our beliefs are influenced by not only our families, but our friends and significant others as well. If everyone around us is playing small, then it is easy to fall into that pattern as well. This is another reason why it's so important to be mindful of the people that are in your space. And that goes for real life and your social media space. Eventually, all of these beliefs work in our unconscious, impacting our thoughts, behaviors, and choices. In times of uncertainty, like 2020, it's natural to lean into our limiting beliefs because they are our safe space. And they keep us from dealing with more than we can handle when so many of us are already in a state of near constant stress. So how can we learn to move past these limiting beliefs? The number one step is learning to recognize the limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs hide in our minds. It's that little voice we talked about a couple weeks ago when I was talking about be confident like Brad. My little angry voice, Ashley. I'll tag that in the show notes if you haven't heard that episode. Well, that little voice loves to quietly remind us of them whenever we're about to embark on something outside of our comfort zone. These beliefs sound like, I can't, I don't, and I am not enough. And I am going to make a list for you guys, and I will tag that in the show notes. And of course, that'll be on my website too, Captivation Radio. And then step 2 is determining where these limiting beliefs have held you back. So sometimes limiting beliefs hold us back in all areas of our life. In other situations, we are empowered in some areas of life and limited in others. A good example of this is women who thrive in business but struggle with romantic relationships. Areas where people generally encounter limiting beliefs are work and business, relationships, money and abundance, health and wellness, and or self-worth. So what I want you to do is try to identify the area in which you are currently struggling the most or have the biggest desire to grow. And focus on this area first. For example, if you desire a long-term relationship but have not been successful recently, ask yourself what you are telling yourself about relationships. Common limiting beliefs surrounding relationships are all the good ones are taken, no one can be trusted, I am hard to love, or why am I so bad at this? So the reason why I'm telling you to just focus on one area at a time is it can be overwhelming to completely try to overhaul your mind all at once. So if we can focus on small changes at a time, they're easier to work into our everyday lives. It's easier to change little habits at a time. So pick that area. If it's your job, your relationships, money, whatever it is, pick one area to start with. And once you can conquer a couple of small things, it'll be easier to do the other ones. So once you determine the area you want to work in and you figure out kind of how limiting beliefs have held you back, you do this by deciding, like, these are the things that I'm struggling with right now. And these are the thoughts that I think about this subject. Write down the thoughts you think about this subject. And then see if the thoughts that you're thinking about it are empowering you or if they are holding you back. Now, once you know what these thoughts are, I want you to try and determine the source of the limiting belief. If you can't, that's okay, but if you can, it is super helpful. Limiting beliefs all have sources. They all originated from somewhere. You weren't born with any limitations. You were born believing you could be and do anything. And then at some point, something happened that changed that. If you can figure out what that moment was, it's even easier to reprogram it. And it could be something that you told yourself to protect yourself. Something you heard your parents say, something you heard your friends say. And then whatever it is, if you can look back and analyze how it started, then we can suddenly be like, oh, I remember like this relationship went wrong, or so-and-so told me I was hard to love. And it kind of just stuck in my brain. Then you can realize that that was never your thought. That was a thought that somebody else put on you. Then number 4, I want you to acknowledge this belief. Acknowledge that you had the belief and consciously let it go. And for example, I acknowledge that I have been telling myself I am hard to love, and today I am releasing this belief. So if that is the that's not my situation. I think I'm fabulous. But if that is your current situation, I want you to say it out loud. Like, I'm done with this. I acknowledge that I've been saying this, and today I am done saying it. And then the next step is to reframe this belief to be empowering. So let's stick with the theme and the I am hard to love belief. Okay, so in the previous step, we released this belief. Now we're going to reframe it and replace it with an empowering belief. And this can sound however you want. It is really best if you use your own words. When we try to adopt other people's affirmations, they just don't work as well. Like, they just don't sound like us in our heads, so we can't really believe in it. And if you are saying it, but you don't actually believe it when you say it, it doesn't really mean anything. You have to believe the words coming out of your mouth. So, one way to reframe the statement from above is, I have high expectations from my romantic partner because I am worthy of receiving everything I desire. Do you see how I did that? So I took the belief that has been limiting me. In our scenario, the belief is I'm hard to love. And honestly, in most cases, when people think that they're hard to love, it's because they have high expectations. So that's how I did the reframe. I changed it to say I have high expectations because I'm worthy of having these high expectations. And then write down this affirmation to use for when the belief comes up again. And you can redo this with each limiting belief that you're struggling with and whatever you're trying to work on at the time. So create the affirmations for the ones that come up most often, and then write them on Post-its and then post them places you'll see, like on your computer, on your refrigerator, on your mirror, anywhere that you'll see them. And another thing I like to do is set timers on your phone to remind you throughout the day. Your phone could just pop up with an affirmation. Or my friend and I have been using an app called I Am, and they'll give you affirmations throughout the day too. It's pretty cool. And then the last step is to share what you've learned. If you really want your knowledge to stick, the best thing to do is to pass it on. And this not only makes it more real for you, but it makes it even better because you're helping other people. And that will make you feel even more empowered. Now, I want you guys to let me know what limiting beliefs have impacted your life the most. Like, what is the number one limiting belief you're struggling with right now? I want you to tag me in your stories, send me a DM, whatever. I want to hear about it, though. And then everybody that messages me, I will message you back and try to help you reframe and overcome it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have an amazing week. Bye.